Do you ever worry you may be going mad?
The seal for the killer joke draws energy from my body, spirit, and mind in that order. If my body and spirit grow weak, it could start draining my memories.
I'm sorry. Should my body and spirit be unable to sustain the seal on the killer joke, the strain my mind could cause permanent memory loss. The seal is designed such that it would erase the killer joke from my mind before failing. But if it ever reaches that state, there wouldn't be much of me left. Artwork by CNAT. Yes.
You are fantastic.
Oh my, are they making new Fantastic Four
Please
movie,
tell me
but
I'm
with ponies this time?
Please tell me I'm Sue Storm.
Such a compliment. I suppose I can reward you with some cosplay. Artwork by Chris Pokefan. Yes, yes.
I figured that would be it. Probably this may have been around the Fan Four Stick.
Oh
thing.
god, that movie was horrible.
Maybe.
I didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, so I have no opinion.
It wasn't as bad as people said it was.
Anyway.
When the CMC went around revealing secrets, did they find anything out about you?
How much I spend on chocolate when Dr. X-Ray broke up with me?
I'm sorry you broke up. I'm so sorry. If you're not familiar with my past romantic troubles, you can see the whole story arc at A Broken Heart. Artwork by Annie Ritchie. Background by Zoo the Skunk.
It's hard to explain puns to a kleptomaniac because they're always taking things literally. I'll take your word for it.
Proof that quick wit triumphs over preparation in comedy. Artwork by Scruffy Toto. Yes.
Do you like Rainbow Dash? Or do you have a crush on her?
Rainbow Dash is in charge of the ponies at Ponyville Leather. That's not a prestigious position, and the pay is the lowest allowed by land. All fun.
Out to manipulate clouds. Number 1, find the point. Take care.
Hold on. This.
Tiny print.
Yeah, I went to enlarge the print a little bit, and it started loading it, which means there we go. All the Pegasi learned basic weather manipulation in flight school, and weather patrol is a first job for most of them. Rainbow Dash is in charge of the weather not because she's good at it, but because every pony senior moved on to a job that uses their talent. I worry for that pony. She has lots of potential, but she isn't willing to put in the hard work needed to develop it into a talent.
We get a lot of questions about how closely Ask When follows the show, so here's an official answer. Canon diverges from the show mid-season 2. This is due to how fast the show is changing things, and our literally year-long production cycle from script to comic publishing. It would be more impractical to try to keep up with the show, as scripts and comics could come into conflict with the show canon while waiting to publish. Artwork by Erudier.
Gives a lemon.
I
least
can't
it
make
wasn't
lemonade out of
snakes.
that shit.
At
You
least
can make a
it
lot of
wasn't
lemonade out of that.
snitch. Artwork by Shovrek.
If it doesn't crush me first.
Do I even want to know what you do when you find whoever made the killer joke?
Violence.
Ooh, scary pony.
Details aren't important.
They aren't. Artwork by Chris Pokefan.
I hired a harem of zebras to handle some personal business. A harem? I didn't know you were into that sort of thing. Harem is the zebra term for herd. That makes a lot more sense.
I think sometimes our language tries a bit too hard to use equine terms at every opportunity. Artwork by Annie Ritchie. Background by Hawk9MM.
How many languages do you know, Miss Pardon?
I speak fluent Equestrian and can understand Griffin and Changeling.
The Griffin language is a rather high pitch to carry long distance, and few ponies can mimic the vocalizations. We don't mind their misconception that because we're unable to speak it, we're unable to understand it. As for the Changeling language, swarmer changelings normally communicate with advanced empathy in a hive. However, in a chaotic situation such as combat, they need to rely on vocalizations to overcome the emotional noise that permeates a battlefield. The vocabulary of these vocalizations is rather limited, and is usually combat orders or warnings. One interesting bit of tactical information on swarmers: drones within a certain distance of the queen are able to continue to communicate using empathy, even in battle. In an assault on a hive, we identify where drones switch communication methods. With 4 points, we can accurately identify the sphere of the queen's influence, which refills her positions, artwork by Astro Ray. Like this headcanon? Think you could write better? Yes, etc., etc.
Are you sure this is the way to the theater? I don't want to miss the new Star Wars movie.
I calculated the most optimal route based on available navigational data.
Whatever you say, R2D2.
The next Star Wars movie is a full year away, but at this rate we might be still late. You can see more of this cybernetic pony who could use a humor implant over at Ask Copper Cog. Artwork by CNAT.
In your winter wrap-up post, you seem to say that Derpy Hooves is more coordinated and helpful than Pinkie Pie. Could you switch them around, please? Riversong 456.
I'm not sure which is worse.
You think I'm not helpful?
I thought you want me to be less helpful.
Oh, I have to cry for a moment. Okay, I'm done. You folks are awfully mean when the world doesn't conform to how you think it should be, based on your short glimpses into how it actually works. Note, they're talking about this comic. Artwork, Moonlit Brush. Panel 1 background by Stinkhund.
With hair like that, I take it you measure things in meters instead of yards.
What does my hair have to do with measuring things?
Because you're asymmetrical.
You mean asymmetrical?
That's what I said. Not according to these.
Oh no, she has comic awareness.
For some ponies, the fourth wall is more of a curtain. You can see more of that barrier-busting pony and her friend, the red ass case pony. Artwork by Tailzip.
Is that a dude? I guess that's a dude. My company is on the cutting edge of technology.
So you're into stuff like computers?
Nope, we make saws and saw accessories.
We sell propane and propane accessories. Sad. Marigold gets a lot of sales, folks wanting to sell their upgrades to her company, and she's nice enough to humor the small businesses that want to make her presentation. Artwork by Annie Ritchie.
Are you acrophobic?
Nope, not acrophobic. That doesn't mean I trust this old ladder.
Even if a fall from the side wouldn't hurt, it would cause quite a startle. Oh, it's cute.
Has the horror ever filled your mind? The thought that there are those who would stop at nothing to see others suffer.
Fear is a ward against complacency.
In the Night Guard, we're careful to ensure that fears are justified, but we embrace those justified fears. Fear means you have something to protect. It is when fear turns to paranoia that leads to darkness. Artwork by Chris Bookifan.
Okay, that's a page. Do you want to...
Plan wears some pretty sweet armor, but what else can she wear?
Put it away.
Maybe some laundry.
That would actually make her more
No,
clothed.
I am not dressing as Princess Leia for the. No, I am not dressing as Princess Leia. Again.
Do we want to keep going, or?
Yeah, let's do one
Yeah.
more page.
All right.
He wants to get to 69.
No, I just don't feel like reading that much of the story.
We can skip a week if we need to.
Oh no, we can still read some. I do want to get it finished.
So, how would a changeling like Queen Chrysalis come about?
Through the front door, disguised as some pony else.
Don't suspicious. With a foe that can convincingly impersonate known ponies, you can never completely let your guard down. Artwork by CNET.
Hello, Pun Pony. Why you don't go travel somewhere isn't a kind of boring Ponyville? All the time see the same places and same people. Maybe you need a vacation and go to Canterlot, Frozen Islands, Crystal Empire, Philadelphia, or somewhere else.
The standard of grammar for written works is far higher than for written works than for speech. There is no excuse for not proofreading your work before you submit it. Laziness is a reason, not an excuse.
Folks, there's a difference between submitting a question and spreading your mental diarrhea into my mailbox. Learn it. Artwork by Eroctorus? I think that's a new artist. Oh, one I haven't seen before.
Ace?
Oh, time to lay down the law.
It seems we're starting the new year with a bang, but what's going on here? You'll need to follow Ask Ace Pony to see both sides of the story.
Lucky for me, I've got more weapons than an RPG.
Oh, okay then. More destruction? If it doesn't make sense, you should go follow Ask Ace Pony to see both sides of the story. This epic conclusion will be tomorrow, but only on Ask Ace Pony.
Somebody bought a bunch of my artwork after he learned that artwork goes up in value after an artist's death. You don't seem happy about it. That pony was my doctor.
Oh my God! The life and death of an artist is not a struggle. You can see more of one of our local artists over at Ask Pellet Swap. Artwork by CNET. Aww.
I'd like to dedicate this one to Fluttershy for having inspired it at the Grand Galloping Gala.
Oh, my. Thank you.
It's called You're Going to Wub Me.
A dramatic entrance like that deserves a theme song. Artwork by Astral Frey.
Cross his hooves and pouts. Well, you're no fun.
If you insist.
See what I did there? Well, the gods ask who threw a sign into the well. You didn't see anything. Artwork by Night Draft.
Hey, Pun. What do you call that piece of armor that protects your flank?
It's either part of 57-2 or 72-5.
I'm trying to learn the advanced level maintenance from armor, but it quickly becomes exponentially more complicated past surface cleaning and joint oiling. I don't think I'll ever understand the layers of magic that change my colors and shape my tail, and apparently make me bald.
Bibbles, please.
Drunk by Winnendale.
With us,
All
please.
hail Arstotzka. Arstotzka.
As I travel quite a bit on government business as the royal topoponymist, I've been through quite a few border crossings. Artwork by Ostfront. Yes.
Is it possible that masters of comedy like yourself have a natural resistance to the killer joke's effect?
Exposure to the killer joke is fatal in 99% of cases. My survival was due to random chance. However, my talent with comedy let me suppress the compulsion to repeat the joke long enough for it to be sealed.
The killer joke is a catered class mimetic hazard. The 1% of those who can survive exposure to the joke are compelled to repeat the joke to others, and are not immune to hearing the joke a second time from another source. Artwork by Annie Ritchie. And my question about the joke is, are you immune to it if you, like, read it on a piece of paper? Like, do you have to hear it for it to take effect?
No, you just have to understand what's going on.
Okay.
That's why it was translated into German.
That's
and used against the Nazis.
exactly.
Ah.
Der Fledermaus gesput. What board games do you enjoy the most?
I like Scrabble.
Would anybody care to join me for some wordplay? I'll try
My.
Ashley.
Oh my. That picture isn't showing up.
Oh.
I can ginger bend the voice here.
An isolated farm, perfect for our first hive expansion. Go forth, my minions, and feed. What in the world is that thing?
It seems Mod Pie really got the drop on those changelings and rocked the world. Artwork by Rufo.
The problem with being punctual is that no pony is around to appreciate it.
Marigold runs her business by tight timetables and has a hard time leaving that at work. Artwork by Caustic Igor.
You should be happy. You're in good
No,
health.
That's the girl. That's the girl.
Oh, wait, sorry.
That's the nurse.
Ugh.
I thought that first too. You should be happy you're in good health.
Good health is merely the slowest possible rate at which one can die.
The glass is always half empty with that fellow, but he's not wrong. Artwork by Batusai. Hotaya.
Okay.
I'm worried that my dog is suffering from depression. Oh, what are the symptoms? She's... You can do it. She's a little melancholy. That's a good one.
Since I'm known as a funny mayor, folks like to test the jokes on me to get feedback. I don't mind being a sounding board for my friends, but I draw the line at strangers trotting up expecting detailed feedback on their mental diarrhea. Artwork by Annie Ritchie. Background by Bones Walbach.